I'm a participant in the steering group here in Galway for the pilot programme for the family carers. I am working full time. I used to look after my mum, who now is in a nursing home. I look after my father, who's able-bodied, all right, but I spend a lot of time looking after him. My mum ended up going into a nursing home because my father used to look after her, and I used to help him out a lot, looking after her, but it became quite difficult. It was quite hard for us to make the decision to put her in the nursing home. So now that she's there, my dad had got quite sick as well. You know, he's got skin cancer and he had a heart attack.
I'm 77 now, and I was married for 55 years, and things were going well for a while, and eventually the wife started getting very ill. She used to get a lot of seizures, so my career in the army was very uneven, or being away and people phoning me saying the wife is in the hospital and nobody to mind the kids, and you know, so I made a decision to leave the army, unfortunately, and things got very tight in, because the money wasn't coming in as it usually was, and the kids were small, and bring them to school, walk them to school and collect them again in the evening and get the dinner ready for them, and maybe if she got a seizure in the meantime, she'd be in bed maybe for most of the day, you know.
Now my dad is on the other end of the side of things, so it's not as intense as it was when Mum was at home, but it's still part of my everyday of looking after him, and I don't get any funding from any side at all for carers allowance or anything like that. So because I work full time and I look after my dad and still go out to my mum every day. I also had a stroke myself 2 years ago, but I'm fine, thank God.
Next thing then, the nurse came out to me, she said, Bridie has diabetes, so you'll have to learn how to give the injection. So they showed me all that, and then I had to learn how to figure out the tablets, write them all down in the morning, dinner time and evening, and take the blood sugars in the morning, take them at dinner time, take them in the evening, and write them all down, so the area nurse would come in and check them then. I was going to various people to see would they be able to help me out. So nobody seemed to want to know what to do. I wanted a stair lift, and then I wanted the toilet organised so she could walk in toilet. She'd sleep during the day, and at about 2 or 3 in the morning she'd be looking for dinner. And you had to get up and give her dinner, and then she'd go back to sleep again. And if she got a bad attack of asthma, you had to be there to help her.
I've been looking after my mum with my dad for years, but my dad has the brunt of the most of it. It's a very lonely place to be. It's very isolating. It's very stressful. It's quite sad. It's quite worrying. You feel guilty a lot. And yet you do want the time for yourself, but then you feel guilty because of that. Like even when there was carers coming in, you feel like that no one can do the job, only you can do the job.
She got very contrary then. It was then I contacted Michelle. And Michelle really looked after things. She looked after me, and I was very stressed out, very stressed.
This is just the reality of the situation, that it's extremely difficult and it's extremely lonely, and you feel like you're the only one in the whole world that's going through it. But when Michelle offered us the respite with the Lions Club, who were fantastic, I didn't realise how great they were. You meet other people and you think that your situation's bad until you listen to these people that are going through the exact same thing, or sometimes they're in a worse situation.
I got a heart attack, and I was into the hospital for 3 weeks before they were doing the the surgery. In the meantime, just put her into Mellon Park for respite. And I got very sick in the hospital. I got pneumonia straight away after the triple bypass. And I went down to 5 stone. People said I wouldn't make it. I didn't know what was happening. I found it very hard to again I went back to Michelle. And I suppose I have to be honest. But from Michelle, I suppose, I wouldn't be here at all. She was the driving power behind the whole lot, because there was no day she wasn't on the phone or helping me out or getting people to see me. So, but for Michelle, I wouldn't think I'd be sitting here today.
We were very blessed because we got support from the HSC, the family carers. Michelle Harrison was really, really good. You know, we got emergency respite when my dad was in a critical situation. We got emergency carers to come in to mind my mom. We've got respite, and that's what's needed.
She's in the home, but I still go to see her every day.
My dad was offered counselling through the HSC social workers, and that's been really good for him. And he was offered as well, he did the photography course, which he loved. He did a baking course, I think, or something else. So he got out and there was stuff for him to do and meet other people himself to get a break away from my mom.
First course I went on, Michelle contacted me. She said, if you go to there, would you be interested in photography? I said I would, of course. So then I went out, met all the girls. I was the only man in the place, so I was happy enough. I used to bring my camera then to Dangan when I was going with the dog. I took a photograph of the 2 donkeys. I think it was early in the year. So that was my story about, that's how I came about with these friends of mine, the donkeys in Dangan.
We were very fortunate enough to receive support from the multidisciplinary team, the social worker, the public health nurse, the later life team who worked from the hospital, who brought my mom in and just did a full valuation on her. We were very blessed by that, and all the supports from the HSC and the doctor.
It is important for me, and I suppose for everyone that's in my situation, to be able to get out on fresh air, listen to the birds and take a few photographs and bring your dog with you, you know. That's very important because you're looking forward to it every day.
If you think about it, if we didn't have carers, where would they be? They'd be downside in the hospital. You know, it's what's keeping this going is the fact that we have these carers, family carers, that's looking after their loved ones and stressed, and sometimes they don't know where to go and they don't know what to do, and they just, you know, it's tiring, stressful, you know. And I remember the pilot program was setting out, and when they were doing it, a lot of people didn't fill it out, because I understand where they're coming from, because it's like, why? This is just another piece of paper that no one's going to help us with. And I get that, because that's the way you do feel. And a lot of people need more support. They need a lot of more people coming in and letting them take the burden of what they're going through, helping them go through it, giving them information about what's out there. I don't think anyone is ever going to understand what it's like to look after someone unless you're in that situation. Unless you're in it, you'll never realise what it's like. There is people out there that are putting their hands out to help, and just for people to go out and see if they can get that help that they need, because there is stuff out there. It mightn't be a massive amount, but there is something that can help them.